Assalamu alaikum dear students, I hope you will be fine. Welcome to lecture number 3 of chapter number 1. In today's lecture we will talk about atomic mass, atomic number, relative atomic mass unit, empirical formula and molecular formula. The construction of wall is only possible with the help of bricks. One brick is the fundamental unit of a complete wall. Same is the case with atom as it is the fundamental part of matter. In chemistry, we study in detail about the atom, its structure, and its chemical properties. When we talk about the atom, the nucleus is the most important thing which is involved in its properties, its mass, its size, and chemical reactions. The nucleus is surrounded by a number of electrons, and those electrons take part in chemical reaction. So every atom consists of a nucleus, and what is present inside the nucleus? The subatomic particles. The subatomic particles are electron, proton and neutron. When you will consider periodic table, you will find out the small boxes in the periodic table where the elements are arranged periodically. Each block consists of the symbol of element, its atomic number written in subscript and mass number written in superscript. Let's talk about atomic number. Atomic number is represented by a letter Z, and it is the specific number assigned to different elements present in the periodic table. So how this number is assigned to all the elements and their atoms? This assigning of number is not based on the discovery of element and not on the quantity present in nature, but it is assigned on the basis of number of protons present inside the nucleus of an atom. As most of the mass of an atom is present inside the nucleus, and that mass consists of two subatomic particles. One is the proton carrying positive charge and the other is neutron, which is neutral in nature. The third subatomic particle called electron revolves around the nucleus, which carries negative charge. For example, let's consider the general element X having atomic number Z. So this Z is the number of protons present in this specific element. For example, for lithium, there are 3 protons. So atomic number is 3 written in subscript. Oxygen have 8 and rhodium have 45 protons in their nucleus. You will see that each element has different number of protons. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1, which means it consists of just 1 proton. And for oxygen, the atomic number is 8, which means it consists of 8 protons in the nucleus. Now let's talk about mass number. Mass number is always written in superscript, and it is defined as the sum of protons and neutrons which are present inside the nucleus. Proton carrying positive charge, neutron is neutral, and electron carrying negative charge which revolves around the nucleus. The mass of electron is so small that it is negligible, or we don't consider the mass, and we say that most of the mass of atom is present inside the nucleus, hence called mass number. Let's find out how to calculate the number of neutrons if we know its atomic number and its mass number. As we know that mass number is equal to atomic number, which is the proton number plus number of neutrons. So we can calculate the neutron numbers by using this equation if we know the mass number and the number of protons. For example, the mass of oxygen is 16 and the atomic number is 8, which shows the number of protons. How many neutrons does it have? To find out number of neutrons, we will change the position of the two terms over here, mass number and proton, as we know that what is the mass number of oxygen and what is the proton number of oxygen. Rearranging this equation, we will get neutrons is equal to mass number minus protons. We know mass number is 16 and proton number is 8. So for oxygen, there are 8 neutrons present inside the nucleus. Now let's consider lithium. We know the mass number of lithium is 7 and atomic number, which is a proton number, is 3. How many neutrons does it have? Again, rearranging the position of known quantities, we will get neutrons is equal to mass number minus protons. Mass number is 7 minus proton number is 3, which is equal to 4. So lithium has 4 neutrons. So we came to know that atomic number is the number of proton present inside the nucleus, and greater the atomic number, greater will be the mass of that specific element and greater space it will take. For example, consider hydrogen nucleus and sodium nucleus. Hydrogen consists of just one proton, so it has small nucleus, but when we talk about the nucleus of sodium, it consists of 11 protons, which means the mass of nucleus is greater as compared to hydrogen. The proton present inside the nucleus carries positive charge, while the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in electronic shell carries negative charge. The number of protons and number of electrons are always equal in an atom, so atom as a whole is neutral, and neutrons carry no charge. Neutrons and protons combinedly called as nucleons. Total number of nucleon is equal to mass number, which is represented by the letter A. And mass number is equal to number of protons Z plus number of neutrons N. And combinedly they are called as nucleons because they are present inside the nucleus. If you are given with the number of electron, proton and neutron, you can calculate the atomic mass, and you can also tell what is that specific element if you know the atomic number of that specific element. For example, by calculating the atomic number of atom, you will find out the number of proton is 16 and the element is sulfur because the atomic number of sulfur is 16. So try to learn the atomic numbers of at least first 20 elements given in periodic table. As you know that atom cannot be seen by naked eye. So how scientists found out the mass of an atom? They found out the mass of atom by using relative atomic mass. To understand this concept, consider these two objects A and B. We know that object A is 12 kg and we have to find out what is the mass of B. To calculate the mass of B, we will relate the mass of B with the known mass of object A. By comparing the masses of two objects A and B, we will find out that object A is heavier as compared to object B. We already know that object A has 12 kg mass. So to find out the mass of object B, we have to cut A into smaller portion so as the object B becomes equal to the mass of that smaller portion. If the mass of that small piece or portion is 1 kg, we will say that the object B also has same mass as both are equal in mass. You can find the application of this relative atomic mass in fruit and vegetable shop, which helps you to buy different masses of fruits and vegetables. So atomic mass unit is also found out with the help of this strategy, where one atomic mass unit is equal to 1/12 the mass of carbon. For example, the atomic mass unit of hydrogen is 1, carbon is 12, nitrogen is 14 and oxygen is 16. Carbon is taken as a standard to find out the atomic mass of all other elements, as the unit used to measure your weight is kilogram, but atom is a very small species, so we cannot use kilogram to measure the mass of atom. So to measure the mass of atom, we use the term atomic mass unit by considering carbon as a standard. Let's talk about the molecular formula and empirical formula. Molecular formula gives you the actual number of atoms that are present in a molecule. For example, in a molecule of glucose, you have 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms and 6 oxygen atoms. So the molecular formula is C6H12O6. For Na2SO4, we have 2 sodium atoms, 1 sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atoms. So the molecular formula is Na2SO4. The empirical formula gives you the simplest ratio in which the elements are combined in a compound. For example, consider the formula of glucose. The molecular formula is C6H12O6, which gives you the actual number of atoms present in it. But the empirical formula will give you the simplest whole number ratio. And to find the empirical formula, we will divide the number of atoms present in the molecular formula with a similar number. So CH2O will be the empirical formula of glucose. Molecular formula of sodium sulfate is Na2S1O4. We cannot convert into more simple ratios, so the empirical formula of this compound will be same. Now find out the molecular empirical formula of these compounds shown on your screen. An empirical formula is a chemical formula, smallest whole number ratio. These are some of the examples given. You have to find out the molecular and empirical formula of these compounds in your notebooks, which I will check later when your schools will reopen. You also have to solve self-assessment exercise 1.2 and 1.3 on your notebooks neatly. If you have any question regarding this topic, you can ask me anytime. Don't waste your time, keep learning and take care.